Well, folks, this is something I never actually ever thought of until seeing this article, and you know what? I am 100% down for it. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 director says he'd love to return and thinks Jim Carrey could be great as Freddy Krueger. Could you imagine Jim Carrey as Freddy Krueger? You know, we have seen comedians do really super dark roles before, mostly Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo and Insomnia. Phew. Jim Carrey could be absolutely amazing, I really do think so. So, few horror sequels are as beloved as A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, the best of the entire series. Often hailed as the crown jewel, the 1987 installment introduced deeply relatable new characters while elevating Freddy Krueger into full pop culture icon status. Yeah, you know, let's get high. And how can you avoid the puppets? Oh, it's the giant snake, and it's just so good, which I probably will actually watch this tonight. So, directed by then first-timer Chuck Russell, Dream Warriors balanced heartfelt storytelling with imaginative terror, forever shaping the tone of the franchise. Decades later, Russell still looks back fondly, and just recently told the Dread Central's Development Hell podcast he's very open to revisiting Elm Street. 1000% I would be behind this. I would champion this to the end of the days. Chuck Russell is a great director. Hell, he worked with Jim Carrey on The Mask. Could you imagine The Mask, but take out the green mask and put Freddy Krueger in? Be amazing. So, this is what he said. I'd love to do another Elm Street if there was the full support of everybody. Patricia Arquette has said she'd love to do it again as well in the press. Very interesting, because she didn't talk about it a lot in her earlier career. No, she never. And back then, a lot of people, they starred in these cheap horror movies just to get their foot in the door and be like, oh, well, I was in this film. Look at Johnny Depp. That was his very first film, was the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Patricia Arquette, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, that was her first movie. But seeing that she was so terrific and went on to have such a great career, I think that's a good idea too. I still think Robert for me is the only Freddy. No one's ever going to beat Robert. No one ever is. No one. Were I to be involved in a new Elm Street, I'd be delighted, and B, my first goal would be to get Robert involved. Without absolutely agree that Academy Award winner Patricia Arquette returning would make for an unstoppable legacy sequel, yeah. And it would get the eyes on it like anything. It would get so much press because you literally got an Oscar winner coming back to the role and made her famous. And if you get Jim Carrey, just imagine what the press would be like. Jim Carrey starring as the new Freddy Krueger. Oh my god. The headlines, they would just write themselves. It would be huge. But this still goes on though that, Jim Carrey is Freddy Krueger. Right, during the interview, Corn Gut, noting Russell's past collaboration with Jim Carrey in The Mask, floated the idea that Carrey might have the range and physicality to don the glove. To our surprise, Russell didn't dismiss it. Yeah, that would be great. Jim, in my opinion, could do almost anything if he put his heart into it. For Jim to do it would have to do something that was another leap in the Elm Street series. A little bit like what Rhett West did with his very meta New Nightmare. I think Jim would only consider it, and I'd only consider harnessing Jim if there was a bold, new direction for Elm Street to go. Yeah, it's seeing Jim Carrey in the Freddy Krueger outfit, the hat, and the glove. I'm telling you, this guy would be amazing. He really would. And like we said earlier, seeing Robin Williams, what he did in Insomnia and 1 Hour Photo, just imagine Jim Carrey, what he could bring to this franchise. One, the franchise would be huge again, it really would, because if you have Patricia Arquette and Jim Carrey in it, just those two alone, Oscar winner, multi-Oscar nominated, and Golden Globe winning Jim Carrey. That would be huge, it really would. And to be honest with you, I really hope we see something come of this now, because in 2019, back when Wes Craven's estate got the rights back to Freddy Krueger, we've just heard back and forth that there is going to be a reboot. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And we have seen nothing since. I really hope that we get something in the next couple of years, maybe in the next year. You know, that they're like, right guys, this is what we got. We actually have a Freddy Krueger movie coming out, and it's not going to be like the 2010 remake where Jackie Earle Haley was good, but he just didn't look like Freddy. He never had the wit. He never had the making fun of the situation in him. That's my personal opinion. He's got the voice. Jackie Earle Haley has the voice down. But you got Jim Carrey, or even bring back Robert Englund. It could work. I really do think so. But I think we're going to have to wait and see with what Wes Craven's estate does. Because, like we said, they've had it now for 6 years, coming on 7 years, and they haven't done anything with it. So fingers crossed, we see something in the near future. So folks, like and subscribe. We will be bringing all horror-related stuff to this channel. So like I said, like and subscribe, folks, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.